So now what? Armor is getting changed. My last video I made that went over all the seasonal mods and how to hit them with the least amount of armor. Irrelevant. Instead, we simplified things a whole bunch. But what does that mean? What armor do we need and what element is king? I made an infographic that will be in the description. We will go through it with some comments on the best armor to have going into Beyond Light. Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Before I get into this video, I would once again like to thank everyone for subscribing and supporting me. We are almost at 10k subs, and I believe we can hit that before Beyond Light. So consider hitting that button today. So right now, if you try to build armor sets, you probably have around 4 armor sets. But with the changes, we can narrow that down to 1. So let's look at the mods and what elements we should use. Before we get started, this is all speculation and anything in this video is subject to change when Beyond Light hits. This mainly includes all the changes from the recent TWAB through mine and others' interpretations. Let's start off. First mod slot is where you will find the resist mods and the stat mods. Nothing really changed here, and the element only determines arc, solar, and void resists. But if you're using these mods, you're doing it wrong. The first mod, in short, has zero influence on what element to run. I want to quickly talk about these resistance mods. People need to start realizing how good these are. No, I'm not talking about the arc, solar, and void. I'm talking about minor, major, and boss resist, and concussive dampeners. You should never be running a stat mod in your first mod slot in PvE unless you're doing some crazy build for some reason. These resist mods are the best. They will save your life, especially since the enemy barrier mods like Taken Barrier are going away. User Bach Manatee made a wonderful infographic with all the information you need to know about resistance in Destiny 2. The data even shows how well they stack and the amount of diminishing returns each mod gets. All in all, stacking these mods and using concussive dampeners is one of the most important mods to have on in the game. It will 100% assist you in day 1 raids or hard activities in Beyond Light. Once again, I will link his post below so you can check it out. Second and third mod slot get some major changes. All weapon-based mods are now non-element specific. For example, the grenade launcher perks, which were only on void armor, are now available on all elements. In the TWAB, they give one example, so there could be more, but the fast ready mods are being moved to the arms. What elements matter here? Well, elements are only really going to affect the arms and the class item mods. Again, this could change in Beyond Light, but as of right now, your helmet's main mods are not affected by elements. Arms only have special perks for arc and solar, being impact induction and momentum transfer respectively. The void on arms is completely irrelevant unless you are going for that 4th or 5th mod slot, which we will talk about later. I recommend arc for arms 100% as impact induction is much better here. For the chest piece, elements don't matter again since only the 4th and 5th mod slot will influence your elemental decision. For boots, once again, only matter for the 4th and 5th mod slot. Lastly, the class item has multiple element specific mods. I'm not sure if the super off energy, whatever weapon kill like pump action or remote connection are being moved to a non-element base, but I'm just going to assume they're not. Others on the class item include the Upon Orb of Light Pickup mod, Finisher mods, and some other cooldown mods. Either way, I've always been a fan and advocate for solar class items for recuperation and ashes to assets, which is the Grenade Super Energy mod. So in summary, just basing decisions off this mod slot alone, you want to have arc arms and a solar class item. You could also keep other class items with pump action remote connection for you PvP players. Here's where Bungie is making things a lot simpler, but upon Beyond Light, you will have pages of mods to look through. The 4th mod slot is determined whether armor is before Beyond Light or after. If it's before, you will have the Legacy mod slot, which will be able to equip all Chargeable Light mods, assuming element still matters, all Warmind Cell mods, all Garden and Nightmare Hunt mods, and all Last Wish mods, which are the Taken mods, and they're only going to work in Last Wish. So here is where your seasonal mod preference will determine your element. Going off my last video, I listed all the actually good / used seasonal mods. If we look at these, the major of the mods people use are in Arc and Void. So since we have an Arc arm piece and a solar class item like I said before, I suggest for the other 3 you choose as having 2 voids and another Arc. Solar is just not that great in my opinion. If the armor comes from Beyond Light and farther, it will have the Combat mod slot, which can equip all Chargeable Light mods and all Warmind Cell mods. This also applies to all exotics, no matter when you got them. You don't get penalized for running exotics now. This follows the same suit as the legacy mods for the elements.
If you did not watch my last video why one of the best seasonal mods, I will quickly list some of the mods I am keeping my eye out for and why they are determining what elements I want to have on my armor since weapons are now becoming universal. Starting with Chargeable Light, arc mods include Loosen Blade, which buffs sword damage and recharge rate, Swift Charge, which is a method of getting charged with light off sidearm, SMGs, and pulse rifle kills, and is one of my favorite. The other ones are nice, especially Powerful Friends and Radiant Charge for PvP. Solar mods though, they just miss out on me. The only ones I'd use here is Blast Radius, which is charged with light off grenade launcher or rocket kills, and then the Supercharged or Charged Up mod. Void mods include Stacks on Stacks, Protective Light, and all the gaining charge with light mods for Void. Warmind Cell mods I use are only on Void. The Arc mods are a complete miss for me, and I don't think I've actually ever used one. Solar Warmind mods are alright, like Wrath of Rasputin, which allows Warmind cells off solar splash damage to allow like a gun like Sunshot to generate Warmind cells. But Void for me is where you get the best use of Warmind cells. Void just hits great with the Power of Rasputin, which is a free debuff, Warmind's Protection, which is a free damage resist, and Cellular Suppression, which is a free blinding effect. Void is still just really powerful, and since these combat mod slots or legacy mod slots are going to be driving your elemental decision, since weapons are now not determined by what element you have, it's really important to look at what these have. But remember, arms and class item do have elemental mods in the other mod slots, so keep that in consideration. Lastly, Bungie is adding a special mod for only raid armor dropping in Beyond Light. These mods only work in their respective raid, and as of right now, Last Wish and Garden mods are not really affected by elements. Yes, there's an elemental garden mod, but most people only use the relay defender mod. This might affect your decision on the new raid's armor if the usable mods do drop in an element requirement. So that's about it. The summary is the main driver for elemental focusing is your seasonal mod slot. The only other mods that are affected by elements are on your arms and your class item. Now for the armor piece you should keep/have going into Beyond Light. Kind of up to you, but I recommend it being a season level rivals piece or a raid piece, as all of these will have their max light at 1360. I'm going to go through my armor and identify the piece I'm going to keep out of each of my sets, and just have that one piece ready, as it will be able to equip all the mods now. I might switch over the elements as I said before, with having arc on arms, solar class item, and then maybe I'm going to do a void helmet and chest piece and another arc boots. Either way, I hope this infographic helps you to make sense of how armor and mods will work in Beyond Light. Link is in the description, and remember, this is all subject to change. Also check out destinysets.com, which is where I get most of my information and graphics from. It's a really great website, and I will link it below as well. That's all I have for you in this one. Thanks for watching. The 10K before Beyond Light, and I will see you gamers in the next one.